Hello everyone, my name is Lancel90 and welcome to another theory video on Dragon Ball Z. I've been wanting to do another one of these for a while now, and this is the next one I came up with, which is what if the series ended with on the Freiza saga. And I thought of this question because a lot of it's been asked before, and lately it's because like friends of mine have been saying, oh, the series should have ended at this Freiza saga. That was the proper finish for the show. That's where Akira planned to finish the show at first. Well, that might be a different debate, but specifically I'm going to go over what would happen if that was the end of the series. There's a few assumptions we have to make here in order for this to work. One is that Goku dies on Namek. He doesn't survive the exploding planet, which is what leads into the next arc and stuff. You have to assume he dies there, and the Dragon Balls can't bring him back, of course, because he's been brought back before. The other thing we have to assume is that the Namekians cannot make another set of Dragon Balls, because that was the solution that they thought of that thinking that Goku was dead, that they used the Namekian Dragon Balls to bring Goku back, which is what they did, or what they tried to do when they found out that he didn't die in the first place. So we have to throw both of those concepts out the window. So this brings us to an interesting point, which is why this is a cool topic to cover. Is basically we're looking at this time period here between Goku versus Freiza and another Super Saiyan, right after the Goku versus Freiza fight. Upon Goku's death and Frieza's death, Vegeta is now the strongest character in the show. His last power level is up here. 2,400,000. Then up into the another Super Saiyan arc, it's 3,700,000. Next strongest person around is Piccolo, with a power level of either 1.4 million or 2.5 million. And I'm gonna get into these power levels a little bit more after I go over each character. Gohan's at 150k, 150,000 in another Super Saiyan arc, and he's at 84,000 during the Frieza fight. And then there's Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin. I also added in their numbers up here. You'll notice I marked these all out in red. That was because I was calculating off another Super Saiyan point. I forgot that they had been training and stuff in between these 2 points. It wasn't very much time. I'm not even sure how long it was, only a couple of years, something like that, maybe 3 years at most. It wasn't very long. But it does make a difference in the numbers, because the events that would happen right after Goku dies on Earth is what we're really talking about here. Everyone, Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha aren't even in this equation because they were still dead at this point. They hadn't been brought back to the Dragon Balls till later, so they wouldn't even get to engage in this next fight that's going to happen, because right when Goku and Frieza die and they're on Earth talking about it, Vegeta realizes that he's the strongest person around still, and he starts talking about how he's going to take over the universe. He tells Gohan you could train him, roll by his side, they can have a little bit of an altercation, etc., etc. But then the next episode, he just suddenly loses interest. In fact, he's the one who explains how they can bring Goku back to life. So that's what we have to throw out here, is that he doesn't just change his mind. And it's sort of only really one way this can go, and that's Vegeta kills everyone. He's stronger than Piccolo at this point. I refined the numbers. He's not at 2.5 million, because Piccolo can only gain power through fusing with other Namekians or through training. He's not a Saiyan who gets Zenkai boosts, which Gohan and Vegeta got Zenkai boosts from the battle. Actually, I don't know if Vegeta would, now that I think about it. And that's never been something that I've really found out or heard about anything about, is if someone dies and they're brought back to life, if they get a Zenkai boost. So it'd be up in the air if Vegeta would actually get a Zenkai boost. Gohan probably would. It depends In the anime, he does more fighting against Freiza than he does in the book, the manga, I should say. But anyway, I did calculate in some guesses at what their power levels would be at this point, because of Zenkai boost between these two arcs. With Vegeta at 3 million, just by averaging these two points in time, and Gohan at 115,000. And of course, Piccolo would not be stronger at this point. Yeah, Vegeta just wins by the numbers here. If these two fought together, it would not be enough strength to beat Vegeta. Even if Piccolo fused with Kami, it might be a little bit up in the air here because of that Zenkai boost I just mentioned. I'm not exactly sure if Vegeta would get one. I think he would, but I don't know if being completely killed in combat counts as a Zenkai boost, or if only the almost deaths count. He might be able to beat Vegeta then if he did fuse with Kami. But that would mean that Vegeta would have to let Piccolo live to that point to begin with. Which he might, because he'll want to get his hands on the Dragon Balls, the Earth Dragon Balls. So he might let Piccolo live in that attempt. In which case, Piccolo could fuse with Kami and Vegeta, depending on if Vegeta could get all the Dragon Balls and wish for immortality, which would be his main goal here. Gohan can definitely beat Vegeta if he turns Super Saiyan, because Super Saiyan is a 50 times power boost. It would bring Gohan up to a 5.8 million power level. This max power level here is just if it was based off the another Super Saiyan power level, instead of on the average power level that I did. But yeah, he would definitely wipe the floor with Vegeta if he went Super Saiyan. And the only ways I could see Gohan maybe doing that is if Piccolo dies or if Chi-Chi dies. And I'm not sure how likely that is, because Piccolo is seemingly killed on Namek by Freiza. They don't really realize that he's not dead till a little bit later, because it was such a near fatal wound to Piccolo. And that wasn't enough to make him go Super Saiyan. So, if he would actually die, kind of up in the air. He also thought Goku died, and that didn't push him over. And I don't know if Chi-Chi would really matter for him, because he's kind of bratty with her quite often early in the series. So I don't know if he would actually have any of the triggers to go Super Saiyan. He might just not be strong enough at this point in the series. But if he could, it would be enough. And again, the Piccolo thing, fusing with Kami, is a little bit up in the air. It depends on if Vegeta does get his Zenkai boost or not. But either way, without the Zenkai boost, without Kami, Piccolo can't win either. So that kind of brings us into two branching paths as well. There's a situation where Vegeta kills everyone, including Piccolo, at which point he would be... it's a little bit unclear what he would do at that point, because then the Namekian Dragon Balls would be... the Earth Dragon Balls would be gone. As we discussed, we have to assume that the Namekian Dragon Balls cannot be remade. So you'd probably just kill them off too, and at that point I'm not sure exactly what Vegeta would be interested in, because he'd be the strongest in the universe. He wouldn't have immortality in any way to gain it. I imagine he would just conquer Earth. I don't think he would destroy Earth. He'd just become king or something. I'm not exactly sure. We never really got to see that kind of attitude from Vegeta, because his first interest was just immortality and being the strongest in the universe, and after that it's kind of not clear. The other situation is he does let Piccolo live, and he gets all the Dragon Balls and wishes for immortality, which would then allow us to go into the other arcs, but again we have to kind of assume that the other arcs wouldn't even happen, because that would be kind of the point of this is where the show ends with Freiza. So we can't really assume that the androids would be there or Boo would show up. We could only speculate if they did, but they probably wouldn't in this exact situation, but we can go over it if we want to, which I think I am. If they do show up and Vegeta's immortal, Vegeta's gonna get his ass beat quite a number of times, but he's just gonna come back and kill them once he has enough of Zenkai boosts. He kind of taunts Freiza about that too, I think, in their fight. He's like, or maybe even before the fight, he's like, Freiza could beat me all he wants, but I'll just keep getting my Zenkai boosts, and eventually I'd overcome him. Which is pretty much true, and that's pretty much what would happen for the Android Saga and stuff, and the Buu Saga, if that happened. Is if Vegeta had his immortality, he'd just keep getting the Zenkai boost until he beat him. If he doesn't have immortality and they still show up, he's probably screwed. I think Vegeta might just leave Earth if he's like, if Bulma's family, if he has them under his thumb somehow, and they can make a spaceship, he'd probably just leave Earth to get away from the androids. I'm not sure if he would bother fighting them or not. If he knew how strong they were, probably not. Let's see what else is left here. Oh, and the other situation entirely is if Gohan does manage to go Super Saiyan and kill Vegeta. We're looking at another situation here where Piccolo probably dies as the trigger to make Gohan go Super Saiyan. I just feel like Gohan doesn't have a strong enough connection with Chi-Chi for her to be the cause. I guess it's possible, but I think it'd be more likely that Piccolo dying would be more likely. They'd lose the Dragon Balls, couldn't bring anyone back. Gohan would become the only person to defend Earth. With a 7.5 power level by another Super Saiyan arc, he would not be strong enough to revive Freiza if Freiza came back, which is another story altogether again. As I said for Vegeta, we don't know if these arcs would even happen, assuming that Akira just ended with the Freiza arc. Differences by the Android Saga, at least, Gohan would definitely not have a chance to beat them. He just couldn't get strong enough. Oh. Because they met Trunks, and Trunks is the one who told him to train really, really hard for the androids to show up, so he might not have that high of a power level. He'd probably still be training lightly, knowing that he's the only person who can defend Earth at this point. But I don't think he would have enough to beat at least the 17, 18, whatever power level he can manage, because not even Vegeta was strong enough until getting the Ascended Saiyan boost. So I think that does cover it all. Feel free to leave any questions that you may have about this topic. Like I said, it's a lot of guessing, because you have to assume what would and wouldn't happen if Akira just ended the series. I mean, you can just assume a series where Goku is just dead, and that's the only difference. But I don't think that would really be the case. Just theorizing what would happen if it had ended at Freiza, because we wouldn't even have known about the androids or anything at that point in time. So yeah, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed and have a good day.